recording on video. And we are back.
What's happening?
Uh-oh. What's
You
up,
broke-
guys?
did you break
I
it?
didn't break it. It's all good. I don't think so, at least. What's up, guys? We are back. I think that's it working.
Man, it's doing something.
Stop.
You have your volume up. Oh, there's something.
What's up, guys? We are back. How does it sound good? And so,
Was that a hunter?
yeah. All right, now we're good. Oh, gummit.
Get the click track going?
Now we're good. Now we're recording. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the call. Hey, it's me, Justin, and
Randy here.
hey,
Yeah.
guys. We are back once again. Still corona'd up.
Still hiding.
We shouldn't say corona'd
quarantined.
up. We are quarantined.
Quarantined.
We are COVIDed free.
COVID.
COVID free is the way to be.
You don't have your mask on right now.
You don't know.
I mean, it'd be tough to talk with the mask
It
on.
would. You
I
couldn't
guess.
really do a radio show with a mask. I mean, I guess you could, but it would be a little difficult.
You could. And it may be beneficial because we have the face for radio.
Probably, yeah. You don't want to say
And you're recording this for the YouTube, so it's like, should we be wearing a mask? But I got a beard, so it covers up a lot too.
But they say beers are bad for you right now.
There have been studies about things being in beards that we won't talk about right now, but it's
That's
kind of gross.
nasty.
It's I don't believe that. though.
No.
I mean,
But you can believe whatever people they
I mean, your cell phone's the nastiest thing you touch all day, and you put that right up to your
So
mouth.
someone sent me a picture the other day. This person was checking out the store. They had their gloves on, but they weren't like the medical gloves. They were like the yellow gloves you used to wash stuff at your house. And they had their gloves on. Well, the guy wanted to play on his phone, so he like took his glove off with his mouth, and he like held it there like it was playing on his phone. So he had like his glove in his mouth and was playing on his phone. It was just, I was like, what are you doing? You're being nastier now than when we were out of quarantine.
Yeah, but he felt safe.
He felt
That's
safe.
that's all it's about.
All
Here's
right.
your feelings.
So let me do this real fast. Hey guys, thank y'all for being here. Thank you for tuning in on Spotify, iTunes podcast, or Apple Podcast,
Apple.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Welcome, Miracle 89.1, The
Spotify.
Promise 90. I said Spotify.
Oh, I didn't.
So we are live on The Promise 90.7, Miracle 89.1 radio station. Thank you so much for being here. We hope you've had a great week so far. And yeah, we're looking forward to bringing some word to you today. Some point we're going to get
Absolutely.
to John. If you have your
Jesus.
Jesus, we're going to talk about Jesus and some of the stuff he said, what he did,
Who he says
who
he
he
is.
said he is, who he said it to,
Ooh,
and how mad they were about that.
they weren't happy.
They were not happy.
I
They
mean, they're
didn't
never happy,
Yeah, you
so-
couldn't make these guys happy.
Mhm.
But we're gonna get there at some point. So if you have your Bibles, where we gonna be, Randy? John 8. John 8.
Yes.
So John 8. If you have your Bibles, John 8. We'll be there today. But like once again, thank you for tuning in with us. We hope you're staying safe. We hope that you are.
Not getting the corona.
Not getting the corona.
Not passing the corona.
Don't want that to happen to anybody. What has been?
I mean, it could be a good thing if you've had it and didn't show symptoms, because now you can do whatever you want.
Can you?
I mean, you can't get it no more.
It's like the chicken pox.
I mean, something.
Did you have the chicken pox as a kid?
Absolutely. I've already had shingles too, so I don't know.
I
if
had a
you're good
friend
with
that had shingles.
or what.
I don't know, but so when you were a kid, did like when one kid got the chicken pox, did they put all y'all together so y'all could all get it at one time?
No, I don't.
We did.
I don't remember.
It was all three. One of the grand boys got it, and so they put all of us together so we could go ahead and just get it out of the way.
But I think I had mine before my sisters.
I don't
born,
think that's
so-
supposed to be done.
Well, I mean,
Well, I mean, you get
community immunity.
Yeah. I love it. That that could go on Fox News.
Oh.
So okay, so what has been? We have a way we're going to get to it at some point. Y'all just follow along with us. What has been your number one go-to quarantine show?
Show?
Have you watched any new shows? Any?
I don't watch TV hardly.
Really?
I mean, 3 kids running around. Puppy Dog Pals is about.
Your watched Outer Banks.
I mean, I haven't watched it.
So we started watch. She posted about it, so we
I
started watching
work.
it last night.
I have things to do, so.
Dude, my yard is amazing.
You
You
know.
know.
Mine's not. It's got, looks like somebody
Hail
chipped
damage.
on it after
Yeah.
the hail was there.
Our yard's looking good. My leaves are falling a lot.
Somebody
right now.
came and played golf and just hit golf balls into
Yeah.
my house, is what it looks like.
I mean, I got my back patio and everything. I've got it set up real nice. We put a roof on our little pergola, and I
Nice.
got my little bench set up around my fire pit. Nobody to hang out with though.
Well,
I
I mean,
invite friends over to eat crawfish, but they go buy vehicles and don't come and hang out.
yeah, I mean, I didn't have one, and the old insurance was like, "Hey, you're gonna be walking." So
This guy right here took viewers. If you're listening in, it's a blessing and a curse. Randy got 2 new vehicles out of the hailstorm, but the hoops and bounds you've had to leap through.
so not just that, but let's talk about the vehicle that I did get, the first one. I bought it, drove off the lot at about we'll say 12:58, I believe was the actual time.
With
that
the
I
Jeep?
left. The Jeep.
Okay.
Drove off the lot, headed home, go home, got to go to Brookshire's, get a few groceries.
Yeah.
On the way home, driving, all of a sudden bird swoops down right in front of the car, hits the windshield. Windshield is cracked
Smoked
like
it.
no other.
Yeah, you sent me
Just-
the picture.
Just
Just
crack all the
kamikaze.
way up. So
It's
I
just-
had the vehicle for a day, and now it's been getting fixed for the last 2
Oh,
days.
gosh.
So the rental, at least I got till Thursday, but after Thursday they're like, get to walking.
Yeah, I'll come pick you up, bro.
So it's. I asked them if they would give me $100 so I could buy a bicycle to ride, but they told me no.
You could
So-
just jump in the challenge with us and run. So we're running 81 miles this month. Shout out Coleman Colvin.
You know, I'm not running any miles.
So back to how the track we were going with talking about movies and where we were getting. Okay, so Randy, you preached on this sermon here a little while back.
Yes.
And he has a really good reference. When I saw his reference, it made me think about it. So, what's your illustration leading up to when Jesus says, "I am the light"?
Well, we haven't revealed that part yet.
I just did.
You just did. But I mean,
If you're looking in John 8, you see what it's about. But okay,
okay. Anyways,
go to your all right.
so a great movie.
Great movie.
Probably my favorite superhero would be Batman.
Batman.
Of course.
Okay,
you know.
that's a good pick.
Well, hold on. Let's back up. Pre Ben Affleck Batman, because I mean Ben Affleck.
I haven't seen it.
It's not good.
I haven't seen
It's
it.
not good. I'm sorry. If you're a Ben Affleck fan, you're listening. Sorry, but
The
he's
or-
not Batman.
The original Spider-Man, Superman, Batmans are the best
Well, I mean,
to me personally.
what do you consider original? Because the old folks listening,
The Spider-Man
They're
that
not-
came out like when we were in high school.
they're.
There wasn't a Spider-Man movie before we were like in.
So you're
high
saying
school.
Tobey Maguire?
Yes.
Is that who you're going? But
And Superman, I guess the TV show.
I mean, there was Superman movies prior to that.
But that TV show was pretty good.
Yeah, when he was Clark Kent.
Yeah.
I remember it.
Yeah.
but I couldn't tell you who was in it.
Okay, and then Batman. So Batman's your.
But there were plenty of Batmans before this.
There was, but this movie right here was the one that really changed the way.
You know, he was also Moses.
He was. That's a good point. Not Ben Affleck.
No.
Not Ben Affleck.
What? I don't even remember his name.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy, he was great.
Yeah.
He was a great Batman. And he had the Batman voice.
So, Batman Dark Knight Rises
Yeah.
with
Dude.
the Joker. So, that's your favorite. That's your pick.
Yeah, Dark
Fun-
Knight for sure.
Fun story. So, I am in Chicago. Never been to Chicago before.
Okay.
And didn't know this, that Chicago was
Gotham.
Gotham.
Okay.
That was Gotham. That's
I mean-
where they filmed most of the Batman.
That makes sense.
Okay, so we are in our hotel room. I'm in high school, and it's just me and one other guy. His name's Richard, and we are in our hotel room. And he said, "Hey man, there's somebody outside with a cape." I'm like, "Bro, what are you talking about?" He's like, "Seriously, man, there's someone outside with a cape on." He's like, "Man, I think it's Batman." And I'm like, "Rick, what are you?" We call him Rick Jones. I was like, "What in the world are you talking about?" He's like, "Look." And so I walk out, look to the window. Sure enough, there's Batman. And I'm like, "What?" And so, of course, about that time, everyone kind of starts seeing it, what they're fixing to do. So we go down. We're staying at the Hilton, the one that's got like the mall underneath it and whatnot. So we walk out on like the stoop step area, whatever they had roped off. And it was the part of the movie where they were flipping the 18-wheeler with the Joker.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm talking about? When they had the chase and that kind of stuff. It was that part. So you saw Heath Ledger, you saw the Batman, you saw him doing a little.
Why can't I remember Batman's name?
Michael Keaton? No, not Michael Keaton. That's the beginning.
Bro, that's
Way back.
yeah.
Google it. My phone's being used.
Oh man. Go ahead.
But I saw the Batman. It wasn't as realistic as the movie portrayed it to be,
Okay.
but it was still pretty cool. What's his name?
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. That's it.
AKA also Moses.
But I also like the Batman with Bane in it.
That one was okay.
Yeah, that
Dark
was-
Knight was my favorite.
Yeah.
Batman Rises was okay.
Yeah. So, Dark Knight. How do we get to John 8 from the Dark Knight?
Well,
How you gonna land this plane?
Harvey Dent.
Harvey Dent.
Okay.
All right.
Also Two-Face.
Also
Eventually.
Two-Faced. I'm waiting for that to come out. That hadn't happened yet.
Is there a movie coming out?
It might be.
I don't know. But
Ain't nobody meeting.
Harvey Dent, before he became Two-Face, you know,
Yeah.
there was a part in the movie where the Joker is like, "Hey, I'm gonna give up if Batman just goes ahead and reveals himself."
Yeah.
And so, Batman, what's Batman's real name?
Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne. He's there to identify himself.
He's
And Harvey
he's
Dent
fixing to-
sees what's going to
He's
take place.
fixing to do it,
Harvey Dent sees what's going to
and it's going to be the
place.
end of the Batman.
And so Harvey Dent comes out as Batman.
Yeah.
Says that he's Batman. But during this speech, he gives a quote, and he says, "The night is darkest before the dawn."
Ooh.
The night is darkest before the
Did
dawn.
he come up with that quote? I feel like that was a World
you
War
see,
II quote. or something
I
like that.
googled that.
Yeah.
I did, and other people have said it, but I don't think there's a real person that can take credit for it. Like it's not set in
I
stone.
believe it's in a song as well.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
You know.
So we see Harvey Dent here is darkest before the dawn, and that translates into Jesus is the light.
Well, here's what we got. We got to think. Darkness. What is related with darkness?
Scared,
Evil, bro.
evil, scary.
Evil. Darkness. Bad. Not good, right? Right
Were
now.
were you the little kid that was scared of the dark?
Absolutely.
Do you remember that TV show? Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, I watched it.
Of course, bro.
It was great. So we lived in the middle of the woods, like way out on Lake Bistineau.
Yeah.
And our dog had a kennel outside, away from the house in the darkness. And my parents always made me feed the dog, and it was always nighttime. And so I would run. If you timed my 40 when I was going to feed the dog, it was probably pretty good. Because I was booking it. Because there was all these dogs that were out in the woods, and they'd come over and growl at you and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Scary stuff.
Like, it was, ooh. And there were owls that sat out there and like, who did that
She
shit?
hit an owl one time.
You hit one?
Speaking of birds, hit one
Nice.
on a 4-wheeler.
I hit a deer one time.
Not good.
And
Darkness.
But
Bad
in
stuff
darkness,
happens.
it was scary, right?
Okay.
And so, light is associated with good.
Good.
Right?
Happiness.
Jesus, light.
Good,
Light
obviously.
reveals what's taking place.
Yeah.
And so here we are in a situation where the world is in darkness, right? God's been silent for, what, some 600 years,
Yeah.
I believe, is the estimates between the last prophet of the Old Testament and John.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've got all of
I
these.
think also want something to add to that. So in the darkness, so you're talking about evil. Of course, evil.
Mhm.
Darkness also allows for, how do I say this one? All right, so I've got a point to make with it.
Okay.
So in the darkness, I can't see the true colors of someone. Does that make sense?
Well,
It's-
darkness would be the absence of
So
color.
it's the absence of color, exactly. Actually, not. Black is not the absence of color. White's the absence of color.
No, white is all colors. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just my aunt was an art teacher, and I'm just trying to make her proud. I think I just made her wrong.
Yeah, you
Am I
made her
wrong?
very wrong.
Black's the absence of color.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so you can't.
White is all the colors.
Okay. Shush. So, but hey, there is one art thing. It's like L.A. Tech versus Florida State University is the pigments, like the L.A. Tech, whatever. So, don't worry about it.
It's getting crazy.
So, but you can't see, but it allows people to manipulate in the darkness. And so I think you said God's been absent. He hasn't been, since for however many years. It has allowed these people, these Pharisees, these non-Jesus people to take a stronghold.
Yeah, I mean they're in charge.
Like your fears, to relate that, like at nighttime, during the daytime when you were at your house, you wouldn't have been scared of those dogs that were coming out of the woods at night.
I mean,
maybe.
I still
but-
would have been scared.
You know what I mean, though.
But I could see them.
At night, you can't see them.
You can't see.
And so you're scared of it. The same way with this, and I'm probably not hitting it all, but y'all get what, if you're listening, you get what I'm trying to say, is that you can be manipulated at dark.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's been dark in this country for however many years, and now the big man's on the scene. He has rolled up in high fashion.
Yeah, and so there is a verse that says, "Darkness hates the light."
Yeah.
Right. And so what do we have taking place? We've got the Pharisees who cannot stand Jesus.
Because he's raining on their parade.
He's the light.
He's bringing light to the darkness of their lives. Ooh, see what I
I mean,
mean?
that's what he
I
does.
said that.
Literally, he puts it on them every time he talks
Yeah.
to them, which is, I think Jesus was a funny person. I think
Jesus had a sense of humor.
he's like, boom, got you again.
Kinda like when he-
very sarcastic.
Like you
So-
can't if you're on YouTube, you can see what I just did.
So now we're
Right,
back.
drop the mic.
Is sarcasm a sin?
Depends on where check your heart.
Check your heart, bro.
Where your heart
So,
is.
so when you're sarcastic to your parents, I don't think he was sarcastic to his parents.
Probably not. Do you
But-
think Mary ever had to punish Jesus?
I mean, what would she punish him for if he did no
I don't
wrong?
know. My mom always told me I'm gonna whip you just for what you're thinking about doing. But he
mean-
didn't think about doing
He
anything
didn't have that.
wrong.
I mean, the dude was
Thanks, Mom,
perfect.
for ruining a lot of my
I
childhood.
mean, I think we need a good beating every
I
once
think
in a
so,
while,
too.
just for the heck of it. Surely we've done something wrong, and we can't argue that.
Did you hear? I texted you the other night. Do you see what your son did?
Yeah, about the water gun. Put it
So Randy and we were off topic again. I'm sorry, but so we are meeting. Me and Sam are getting snow cones. Y'all pulled up to give us some. We have a baby on the way. Y'all got 19 kids. and counting.
And
Y'all
counting.
are the next TV show. And so
Scary.
Shelby had some baby stuff to give us.
Okay.
And so get the baby stuff, whatever, blah blah blah. I'm at the house the other night, and I go to grab the remote, like out of the side of the couch, like where it had fallen, and there's a water gun, like stashed between the couch cushions, and I was like, "What is this?" And Sam's like, "Oh crap, you found it." I was like, she was like, "Maddox snuck it in my bag the other night to shoot you with it." I'm like, "What in the? This kid is like 4." I was like, "Where did that come?"
Well, he's got a big birthday coming up. He'll be 5 this month.
What?
It's getting scary.
Nice. But so
It was in the darkness.
it was in the darkness, and I found the scary water gun. So all right, so Jesus is raining light on the
Yeah.
Pharisees, and this is where we take off here. And where do you want to read from, Randy? You want to?
Oh, we'll just look at 12. Verse 12. Jesus spoke to them again, and he says, "I am the light of the world. Anyone who follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life."
Exactly.
So, first of all, what has just transpired leading up to this? We have one or two options
Yeah.
that we could say happened, because we had the adulterous woman
Yeah.
who is brought to Jesus in the light. He's in the temple.
They're wanting to stone her, to kill her.
Stole it, and he tells them, "You without sin cast the first stone." Everybody drops their stone, and they are livid, right?
Yeah, they're mad at her.
Like Jesus just told us all. Or, which is probably the more realistic version, because we know that this passage of the adulterous woman is not in the older manuscripts, the more
text.
reliable
Yeah.
manuscripts. We know that this is probably something that did happen, did transpire in Jesus' life. We can say that because it was never, it wasn't argued about in the early church.
Yeah.
But we know that the earliest manuscripts don't include it, and that this passage where Jesus looks at him and says, "I am the light of the world," it fits in with verse 52, right? It flows right along, because they're telling him, "Look, nothing comes from Galilee. You can investigate it for yourself. There's no prophet. Nobody's going to come out of Galilee."
Yeah.
And Jesus looks at him and he says, "I am the light of the world." And they go on to argue about this because they understand what he's saying, that it is a direct reference back to Isaiah 41.
Exactly.
Where it's a prophecy about the Messiah, and it says, "I will make you a light for all nations, to be the salvation to the ends of the earth."
So not only is at this moment, if you know, to dive into the adulterous woman, not only just to dive into that a little bit, but to go forward. So he's pretty much shut them down on stoning this woman.
Yeah.
So that's number one, to make him mad.
Yeah.
So they're mad about that he's not following their laws that they've said, that man has set, not God, man has set.
Yeah.
But he has also said that I'm a prophecy. That, hey, I am the prophecy revealed to you. So that's because they didn't want that to happen. They didn't want, because if the prophecies became revealed, then pretty much they're out of a job and they've been proven wrong.
Well, they don't want Jesus to be who he says he is. And so if Jesus is who he says he is, he's got authority over them, which he has proved time and time again, and just proved them wrong over all the crazy things that they do.
Yeah.
And so he's sitting here saying, "Look, y'all are messed up. You're doing the wrong thing, and I am who I say I am." And that's exactly who Jesus turns out to be, right? He has come to be a light to all nations, not just the Jews, to everyone, and provide salvation to the world. And so we can see and we know that Jesus is the light that brings hope to all of this.
Yeah.
Funny story. I told you I lived out in the middle of the woods, right?
Yep.
So
Bistineau.
Lake Bistineau. To get to our house, you drove 30 minutes from town, go across a cattle gap through the middle of the woods, crossed another cattle gap, and there was a few houses out on the lake. So I had some friends over for my birthday, and I was like, "Look, I'm gonna tell them this scary story about all this stuff that's out in the woods. You know, gonna get them." So we go out there and we're messing around. It's dark, nighttime, and we have there's this old torn up cabin out in the middle of the woods. And so we go out to it, we're looking at it, messing around with things. And so I've told them the story about all this crazy stuff taking place. And I said, we're standing out there, and all of a sudden we hear something in the woods. And all of a sudden something comes running right through us. Like, I think it's Sasquatch, something. We are all bolting, running as fast as we
You
can.
just scared yourself.
Yeah. So this story I've told them about all this stuff in the woods has got me on edge.
Yeah.
And now we are just running as fast as we can through the woods. No idea where we're going because it's dark and there's no trails out there. And so we're running. Finally, off in the distance, we see this faint light. And so that's where we take off running, is to this
Head
light,
to the light.
as fast as we can. And so there's a set of barbed wire fence that runs between the edge of the woods and the houses.
Yeah.
And of course, I run right into that. And so now I'm even more scared because I'm stuck in barbed wire and
Right.
trying. And so we get out, we run to that light. Turns out that light is the light on my front porch. Run into the door, and we are safe and secure. And so that brings me to this, that when we find Jesus, when we see the light, we can run to him for safety. That's where our salvation is found, is in the light. So no matter how dark things are, there's always that light that we can look to and run to. And that's who Jesus says, I am the light, the one that has come to save.
I love that point. And to break down your story, to add to it, you with your barbed wire,
Yeah.
even in the middle of the darkness, you faced a trial.
Oh.
You faced a
There were lots of trials through
barbed
those
wire.
woods.
You know, you faced something that you weren't. You could have been running and slipped in a hole. You could have been, So in your life, in your life, you're chasing after that lightness. You're chasing lightness. That's not a word. You're chasing after that light. You're chasing after Jesus.
Yeah.
But yet you stumble into something. But just keep your eyes focused on that light. Keep your eyes to get back up, to get out of the barbed wire, to get out of the briar. Because I'm from the country too. We ran into many of briar patches.
It's
Many of see, like,
there's things that are gonna pull you down.
well, that's like when you're deer hunting. When you're at
Keep
night.
your focus.
So like if you're deer hunting.
At night? You do
No,
that?
I don't know.
No, that's illegal.
If
You
you're
can't
deer
do that.
hunting and you kill one and you have to track it at night, if you're
Okay.
listening to this and you're from PETA, I'm sorry.
I
But-
shoot good enough. I don't have to go track.
So if you track one at night, wherever you started is where you leave a light. You throw a flashlight on the ground, a little nightstick. If you got a 4-wheeler or something, you leave your lights on, something. To where, because a lot of times you got to go through stuff to get back to it. So just always, that's a good point. Always track back to the light. So, all right, that is going to end it for today in our rant on. Hey, look, if you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, drop in the comments. Let us know your favorite Superman movie.
Superman?
Superhero movie. Sorry,
Superhero?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So
Batman's obviously the best.
Batman's a good one. I'm gonna have to go Batman as well.
Maddox is all about some Spider-Man, or little boy. So
that'd be a good birthday gift for him.
absolutely,
All
He's-
right.
he's all about Spider-Man.
So I'm gonna pray us out. Hey, look, guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Follow us: YouTube, Apple's podcast, Spotify, Facebook,
Wherever,
Instagram, whatever. Share it. We would
Check us
appreciate it
out.
very much.
Give us a like, a follow,
Follow.
a share. You
That
can
would
share something.
If you shared it, that would
I
mean so
mean-
much. It's sharing the gospel.
Yeah, absolutely. Jesus.
So, all right, I'm gonna pray us out. We're gonna be done. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and this one is done. God, we love you. Thank you so much for being our light, God, for being something we can run to being our refuge, for setting examples for us what it means to be a light to other people. In this dark time, God, just give us the strength to light up our communities, to just let people know that whatever you're walking through, whatever darkness you're living in, that there's a Savior, that He is you, and that you will protect them from what's to come. Lord, I ask just to bless everyone that's listening today, just to have a good week, God, and to get through this COVID pandemic, just to overcome everything. We'll be with our country, with our leaders, as they're trying to navigate through everything. And Lord, we love you and we praise you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.